Hello, and welcome to the EQUUS Film and Arts Fest podcast, the only program for horse lovers who have a fondness for horses in film, art, and literature. Each week, we will have interesting conversations with equestrian filmmakers, artists, and authors from around the world, discussing the nature and challenges as well as the triumphs of creating their work. Ready to talk horses and film and the arts? Here's your host, Julianne Neal, along with Lisa Dearson, Festival founder and director.
Hello, welcome to the EQUUS Film and Arts Fest podcast. I'm your host, Julianne Neal, and we're here today with Lisa Dearson, the founder and director of the festival. Lisa, how are you doing today?
Hi, Julianne. I'm doing fine. Entering into week 4 of the lockdown.
Is that all?
It feels like it's been forever. Yeah, this week for us, this is the start of week 4.
It does. It feels like it's been 3 months.
Well, you know, when you think about it, we're talking a little bit on the news today that March 1st this year, there were no American deaths. So this is just like...
It has spread like wildfire.
Yep.
Well, how are the horse things going on up there? Are you able to go to the barn yet?
I can go to the barn 3 days a week and work the horses, and I've been posting up online some pictures. I'm not riding. I'm doing what they're saying is, this is the time for everybody to work on your groundwork. And I'm such a big work in hand classical advocate for groundwork, and so I've been long lining, ground driving the horses and all over, and I've been trying to do 1 mile to 2 miles of walking every day with them. So it's been a great exercise program and keeping, working the horses on the ground. So by the time this is over, I'll probably have 100 miles on each one.
That's great. I'm working on the same kind of thing. And so it's a lot of fun. It gives you a chance to do something different. So. Well,
and there's so many people that have no concept of what good in-hand work is. So now's the time to learn. Now's the time to learn a new skill. Long lining is fun.
It really is. Bruce has done that for a long time. I've got really big, heavy long lines that we use to go out through the woods and stuff like that. But I'm working on the same thing with my trainer, Mary Werning, and we're working with Winston and just learning some new stuff. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, and it's so good for the horses. It's just a completely different perspective of training. Yeah. I was thinking about doing a new hashtag called Behind the Horse.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
But then you'll have somebody that'll, your helmet Nazis will come out and start complaining about it. But don't go behind the horse. But, if you know what you're doing, that's a good place to be.
That is a good place. Exactly. So very cool. Well, I'm excited to keep going with our series of interviews that we recorded, that we filmed back at the Kentucky Horse Park at the EQUUS Film and Arts Fest last year. So today we're going to focus on 2 Cindys. It kind of funny worked out that way. But Cindy Galloway is an artist that I was just mesmerized by her stuff. She's a wonderful person to talk to as well. And so I love her artwork. And then also we'll have a conversation with Cindy Erkel, who is the filmmaker behind the Billy and Blaze upcoming film. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on both of the Cindys.
Well, Cindy Galloway, I absolutely adore her work. She's from the Wayne area, which is close to me. And so I invited her down to bring her artwork to the festival. And it's fox hunting themed, but then she does so much more. And she has a series that she's done with these beautiful little, it's a little man and a woman fox that are up on the horses, and it's just such a wonderful story. And she's going to be turning that into a children's book. And
good.
Her artwork is just something that everyone needs to get into, look at, and she does commissioned portraits on horses and dogs, and she's so creative. And her belt buckles, I adore her belt buckles.
Well, it's so funny. I loved her work when I saw it, and I was really thrilled. She gifted me with 2 prints while we were there after we did the interview, and I'm like, wow, I've got to find a special place to put these. But then I came back home to Camden, South Carolina, went to the tack room, and they had some pieces that had some of her artwork on it. So I was like,
how
"This,
fun is that?"
Yes, I was thrilled. I mean, I couldn't believe it. So
Wow,
that was really neat. So yeah, she
her
was
work
fun.
is something that everybody should explore because it's just beautiful illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really the only way to describe it.
We'll definitely put links so that folks can check that out. Yeah, and
to
so
her,
then
to her website, because then they can buy her the belt buckles are so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's got other she makes some pottery and does a few things, other things, and she makes custom signs and that. But her belt buckles, oh my gosh, they're just incredible, absolutely incredible. Yeah. So people will love that. So yeah, we need to make sure we have the notes in notes or links so everybody can get a custom belt buckle.
Definitely. We'll do that for sure. And then you've had a long, ongoing relationship with Cindy Erkel. I mean, even Pat, I remember 2 years ago she was talking about this film, and you had conversations with her even back then. So how did all of that start? How did you find out about her in this story?
Well, I ran across the trailer to the Billy and Blaze film, and again, this is something we'll put some links up for people because Billy and Blaze is a wonderful series of children's books that were first published in the 30s. And tell the story of a little boy and his pony Blaze, and they're beautifully illustrated young adult, I would call them more young adult books, and that she's turned into one of the most beautiful feature films. Hopefully it'll be done this year for our festival. It's very, very, very close to being completed. But it's just beautiful. It's like the book literally comes to life off of the pages.
Well, I remember as a child, I think the illustrations were C.W. Anderson, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they're wonderful books, and so I've been so excited for this film to be finished and for EQUUS to be a part of getting this film out into the world. So we've been working on it, and I've been helping Cindy promote since finding the trailer and Cindy being part of the festival. I believe she came to Camden. Was it last year or the year before?
She did come to Camden last year. Yeah, we got to meet her there. And we're going to actually also post a little bit of an interview that I did with the kids, some of the actors from the film that were at Breyerfest last year. So I thought we'd add that on into the podcast today too. So we'll hear from Cindy, but then also from some of the actors from the film too. And
we can put a link up for the trailer so everyone can get a chance to see that trailer because the trailer is just so beautiful.
It really is. She definitely is doing a fabulous job. So, we'll take it away and hear from both of the Cindys. So we're here actually with artist Cindy Galloway. Cindy, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so glad. You walked in with some of your work, and I had to take my glasses off to be able to really get a good look at it because the belt buckles are very small pieces. But the detail that you put in, you're working a lot in acrylic. Is that?
I am using fluid acrylics, and they're as you can see, the color is vibrant and they flow so easily. You can do these belt buckles are 3 inches wide by 2.5 inches high, and they're tedious, but oh my God, I have a blast painting these.
So I see gray horses in each one. Is there an inspiration horse behind all of this? Is this a specific horse that you're painting?
It's funny you ask that because my first horse, Nellie, was a gray, and she was a school horse at a local hunt barn, and I fell in love with her. She was a pistol, but maybe that's why. Maybe it's my inner gray channeling me.
But now the prints that I'm seeing here are not grays, but there is definitely a hunt influence.
Yes.
So that's your
I am
Subject of choice.
Yeah, I'm a member of a drag pack up in Wayne, Illinois called the Wayne-Dupage Hunt, and it has inspired me in so many ways. I mean, you're just sort of immersed in that environment, and I can't keep things how they are, so I've changed my characters, and I'm actually elaborating on these characters. I'm hoping to write a book about them.
That is so exciting.
So they have names, and this is Harrington Hound and my Lady Kitty. Oh. And do you ever listen to Jane Austen or watch Jane Austen movies?
Yes.
Well, I love Emma, and that's how Lady
Yes.
Kitty started. So they have taken notice of each other here at a stirrup cup. So.
And your title is Decanter. And
Decanter.
So that's very appropriate.
Yes.
I mean, you've got a variety. These are, of course, paper, but then you also paint on wood. How do you decide what you're putting on each piece?
I wish I had some long-winded philosophical answer for that, but frankly, I pull something off the shelf and it sort of happens. And sometimes, like with some of these designs, I'll start it and I am a disaster with focus. So something can start, but it can change radically as I'm going. There isn't really a strong method that I use. I kind of keep my mind free. I try not to be restrained whatsoever, and I don't follow any rules whatsoever with my mediums.
That's what I love. When I read what you wrote, you're a rule breaker.
Do whatever I want.
That's very, very cool. Your reason for being here with the EQUUS Film Festival, your submissions, prints, and that sort of thing. But I love the fact that you've got signs and brush boxes and all those things too.
Yeah.
So they're functional items.
They are.
And beautiful artwork on both. So tell me about your background with horses.
I'm the typical little girl seeing a horse for the first time, and my parents, thank God, we grew up in Maryland and rode as children, and it never left myself or my older sister. So we continued and got our own horses, and they take over your life.
And so how did the hunt become such an inspiration? Was that something you've always done?
I love fashion. Okay, this is really bad to say. I love fashion. I love the clothes. I love the horses. I love when you start out on a line at 6:30 in the morning and it's misty, it is this visual smorgasbord. I mean, you're in paradise as far as being an artist. You just soak it up. It just fills you with all this stuff, the colors, the smells, the sounds, galloping on a line, just the noises, and it just all has affected me profoundly to where I pull it right into the studio. And I love it.
Do you have a hard time, I'm going off track a little bit, but
Sure.
for Hunt where you are, do you have a hard time finding the spaces to continue to do that? I mean, we've talked a little bit about land conservation as we're here this week with the film festival, and you have to have enough land. Is that a problem where you are or not really?
In Wayne, absolutely. It's, cities encroach on the land, and by the grace of the landowners as well, it's in a lot of forest preserve. We can continue to hunt. I stopped hunting back, I had a hip replacement in 2005 and rode a little bit after that, but I really started to become fearful. And I didn't have the proper hunt horse. So I was doing a dangerous thing. But I've got 2 horses now at home, and we trail ride, and I play with Western dressage. I've jumped ship to my Western saddle that I would never give up now.
Wow.
But
it's nice and comfortable.
Oh, I love it, and it just feels good. But a lot of pleasure riding now, and really just getting to know the horses. I'll never get away from them.
Definitely not. We're blessed in Camden, South Carolina, where I live, that there's a trust where Hunt Country is there for the hunt specifically, but also other people are allowed to ride out in it when it's not a conflict of timing. And we're very blessed. But I know of a lot of people who would love to see your work because of
they do.
Their love for the hunt. Absolutely. And so, is there a particular horse in all of your work that you visualize as the first character in maybe a book? Would it be a children's book? What do you think?
it's interesting how I have, okay, this is going to be a little weird. It's a little deep for me. My Harrington Hound character and my Lady Kitty character, I've named her a Houndestrienne.
Okay, for people who aren't able to see, describe how they look.
Okay, so Lady Kitty is on her majestic steed, and Lady Kitty is a fox, mind you, and she's dressed in her hunt finery side saddle, and Harrington Hound is in his pink tails, and if you don't know hunting, a pink tail would be a red long hunt coat and a tall top hat, and he is a hound. He is there at a stirrup cup, which is sort of a cocktail party after a hunt, and where you just sort of wind down and whatever. But he's handing her a cocktail, and in my little Jane Austen-esque world, Houndestriennes, which Lady Kitty is because she's a fox, and she here is when she's younger and she's riding a hound.
How I talk about breaking the rules, girl.
Yes, so these two are taking notice of each other, and Lady Kitty's family is not approving of this.
I would think not.
So this is where it's going. You can see how it's sort of building.
Little Romeo and Juliet.
Yes.
Here?
So I'm starting, and I'm thinking with how different races are melding together and everything, that this might be sort of a premise behind the book. I'm not sure.
But, how wonderful.
But I'm thinking that, and it could be a children's book or a coming of age book for younger ladies. I love the elegance and the morals and the properness of that era, and I think we need some of that in society today. And I'm hoping that it will definitely contain that sort of thing. So
right.
I don't know. There might be a higher purpose to the book.
You've got the right illustrations for it already.
Kind of on a roll. And people ask me, well, what's Lady Kitty doing today? And I blurt out this story that comes off the hip, and it's just been a lot of fun.
So what do you think is next for you? What do you see down the road?
Oh my gosh. This experience this weekend at the EQUUS Film Festival and Arts Festival, I'm just starting out on exposing things, and I want to do 1,000 of these a year. I want to just get out and sit and talk to people, and I think the next thing that I do, I'm going to bring a table and paint while I'm here.
Definitely. And I think you're right. People seeing an artist at work and getting to watch your process, I think that would be exciting.
I think I'll paint belt buckles because it just shows something completely different.
If somebody wanted to actually come see your work in person, where would they go?
Hampton Hills, Illinois, which is about 50 miles straight west of Chicago. And I love playing with the website. I've done a lot of web work for companies, and I enjoy graphic arts.
That, yeah.
Love Photoshop.
Cool.
It can derail me when I should be sitting at the easel. So I have to rein it in.
So CindyGalloway.com, they could find your work for sure. And
Yes.
do you do commission work if somebody had something specific they wanted?
Yep. I mean, I can do formal portraits, all of that, but I just choose to
do this.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
We're definitely glad you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yes, thank you. Well, have you found a community of other artists that you plan to keep in touch with through the festival?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm so excited about that.
That's great.
I
Well, I know
needed
we're all
this.
going to be promoting each other for sure.
That's exactly what it
We'll
is.
make sure that happens. So thank you so
Awesome.
much, Cindy.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Have a great rest of your day.
This episode of the EQUUS Film and Arts Fest podcast is sponsored in part by Nature's View, the Marley Project, and JA Media Productions. To learn more about what we do, visit naturesview.us.
So excited to be with three very special guests right now. One of them you're not actually going to get to hear much from. I'm not sure, maybe we will. But we're here with the team from Billy and Blaze. This was one of the stories that as a child made me fall in love with horses. Misty of Chincoteague and Billy and Blaze. Welcome to the director who's the driving force behind all of this. Cindy, welcome.
Thank you. And I just wanted to say that we have Henry here that I found to be a real horseman after I had known him for several months. I can't remember exactly how long, but it was a long time that I was really sure that Henry was too small to be Billy, even though he was perfect size to be Billy. And that's because I wanted to have a charismatic pony. And my pony, I felt, would need a bigger boy to hold him. And one day, when I was watching all the kids, they were kind of auditioning, I saw Henry's actual pony act up and buck around a bit. And this boy got that pony settled so quickly and then tore off across the field to his older friends. And I went, wait a minute. This is Billy.
You found your boy.
And everybody around looked at me like, well, we already knew that. Because I'd been telling him for months, honey, when you're bigger, you're going to be able to be in this movie. We'll figure out, when we have a series, And I was always apologizing to him. And I was like, okay, I've caught up with everybody. This is Billy. And he is the signature. He looks exactly like Billy C.W. Anderson drew in that book years ago. And
His
Rex,
picture.
I met Rex in Washington, and he is so, I didn't want to have a German Shepherd that was military. I wanted to have a German Shepherd that was gonna look at the kids. He licks Blaze. He is very, he loves horses.
And you can tell right now, sitting
yes.
here, he loves Henry too.
He
so
does.
That's a plus.
Yes, and I just have been amazed. I have just been amazed that these actors came at just the right time. Because you have to have the right dog and the right boy and the right pony and the right money.
Yes,
all at the same time. Yeah.
So Henry, did you know all along that you were it?
I didn't know what I was doing.
When she couldn't decide, did you think in the back of your mind, she's going to pick me later, she's going to pick me later?
No.
No. So it was a surprise. Were you excited?
I was very excited.
Very nice. So Cindy, tell me about the background behind the story, or for folks who have not read the books, there's a rich history there.
Yes. Well, the books themselves have been in print since the Great Depression. The books have been of a very famous, C.W. Anderson, a very famous illustrator. These books have been the ones that have just stood the test of time. His other books, 40 books, have been out of print. These, no. And this is something that I wondered why there wasn't a movie. Well, when I met Mrs. Phyllis Wood, I found out why. She was just saying no. She lived in Hollywood. She was not wowed by people wanting to make a movie of her uncle's books. She was a novelist herself, and she was saying no to the scripts that she saw. And she let me convince her that I wanted the spirit of the books to be in the movie, that I had a background. My father also was very, he was an editor, and we knew the responsibility of having a classic meant that people wanted it to be a book that was read forever. We had that script in front of her, and she advocated to Simon & Schuster, this is the script. If these people don't do this movie,
it never happened.
So it was just wonderful that she was so for us, but that was years ago.
And what a responsibility. I'm sure it kind of weighs on you sometimes.
Yes, because this is something that a lot of people are looking forward to. We had in our website last week a comment, which all our comments are so positive. We're late with this movie. No one's ever complained. They've always been persevere. And this last week when I was at home and I looked at the emails coming in, someone said that her daughter's son, her grandson, her daughter was not going to take the son, little boy, to a theater until our movie was released.
Oh, wow.
She wants that to be his first theater experience. Yes.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Wow. So Henry, tell me a story about filming. You have your own pony, correct?
Yes.
How do you get along with the pony that you ride with Blaze in the story?
Well, sometimes he could be just a little difficult. Well, with all of the filming equipment, any pony would be really difficult.
Sure.
But we got along really well for most of it, as long as I rode him a little bit before.
Okay, so you did a little bit of pre-riding before the filming started.
Yeah.
Now, how about the scenes with the other actors? I met the boy, and I mistakenly thought I had met you this summer, but it was the little antagonistic boy, wasn't it?
The only one in the movie that cannot ride.
And that's interesting.
Yeah, he was supposed to be in the movie. He was supposed to be the one that couldn't ride. And he really can't ride, so it looks good.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to act.
Right. But so did all the actors get along pretty well?
Well, if you're doing something like this, you kind of have to.
That is true. That's very true. But I can tell now Rex is really interested in what you have to say. So you got along with him as well, I believe.
Yes.
Did he follow you around on set?
No.
No. I believe he's well trained too. He's following directions for sure. So Cindy, once you found everybody, I mean, I'm sure there's a workflow. And so where are you right now in the process? Post-production?
Yes, the film is all, it's edited, the story's all put together, but we have always had the same budget for over 10 years. And we have the post-production budget has not been fully met. Once we have all of the final funding, the film will be done within 3 months.
Oh, wow.
And it's mainly what we have left to do right now is some CGI, some green screen, for example, the stall that has Billy, that he's grooming his pony, has a little bit of the weather. You can see out the stall. It's got to be snowing sometimes. It's got to be, changing leaves sometimes. Sure. So there's just different polishing things that you do in post-production.
Yeah, and you mentioned sound last night. It sounded fabulous to me.
Yes, the ADR and the voiceovers. There's work
bits.
still left to be done. Yes.
Where did you do all the filming?
It was done around Virginia. All of it was in the Charlottesville area, a little bit in a place about an hour away, but all of it is just stunning farms and right in our neck of the woods.
Okay, so I was going to ask, did you know of these locations beforehand? You didn't have to go searching. You lived in heaven.
Yes,
That's great.
Yes.
That is phenomenal. Well, I know I was so excited that you all had it ready and brought the trailer to Camden, South Carolina this past year, and now to see the progress you're making, it's a wonderful project. So,
Thank you.
So we're thrilled for you. If people want to look it up and want to see, how would they find your website?
BillyandBlazeMovie.com.
Wonderful. And you'll keep us posted, I'm sure,
Yes.
on social
yes.
media when the big event will be.
Yes. We sure
so
will.
children can plan ahead and be ready to take our parents can plan ahead
Right.
to take kids to the movies. Now, there's been a quiet force behind the scenes back here working with Rex.
Yes.
Did you have a lot of folks helping with things like that? And how did you find them?
Oh, I looked at a lot of German Shepherds too, looked at lots of Shepherds. And as I said, I really wanted one that was affectionate, not just, German Shepherds are extremely obedient, but it's not just the obedience, but this dog is exceptional. I did expect from a German Shepherd that he would do what we asked. But we asked so much of him, and to go with the pony, and be sent away from Stephen and be told to come slow, come fast. He just listened to his master off screen beautifully.
Well, I have to say thank you to Steve. The dogs have been here. You have two.
right? 2 here on site, father and son, and they have been phenomenal all weekend, and we've really enjoyed being around them, getting to see them. And so we'll finish by saying the animals they make the movies, they do.
They do.
Even though Blaze can't be here, we're thrilled that Rex is.
Yes,
and so
yes.
Thank you, Henry, for being with us today, and thank you, Cindy, for being with us, and Steve, too.
My name's Rebecca Erkel, and I am, I play Billy's mother in Billy and the Blaze, the film, and we are here to kind of support and also to show the teaser for the movie Billy and Blaze. And this is...
I'm Kat Fuquay, and I play myself in the movie, and I'm one of the competitors in the horse show.
My name is Catherine Erkel, and I play Kate, Billy's friend, in the movie.
My name's Ivan Erkel, and I play Gordon, the antagonist in the movie. I was in a movie before this, Hurry Scurry. Yeah, it was a fun experience. That's how I really got into it, so.
So I come from a family, the Erkels is, Cynthia Erkel is the director. Michael Erkel is the producer. So this is a family production, but our family kind of has a lot of history in filmmaking and in the writing. Cynthia also wrote the manuscript. So it's kind of a family affair, but we also have been acting forever. So it just worked out that way. We have a lot of actors who have more extensive experience, and then we also have a lot of really, really amazing equestrians. As obviously Kat, she's very experienced, and kind of a little bit of a celebrity in her own right. And so it's nice. It's a mix. We sometimes had actors that were a little bit more green on the actual acting front, but really experienced riders, and then they just blossomed in front of the camera, and so it worked out really well. Sometimes vice versa. So the books are classics, obviously, as you just stated. I mean, they really are. They have a place in so many people's hearts. And so, like so many, our family grew up reading the C.W. Anderson books. And so I think it came about in a Sunday drive where Cynthia said, why haven't they made a movie? And I think they went right on and they started looking at the rights and seeing what was possible, what was available. And of course, the family who owned, has the rights to the C.W. Anderson books has been offered several times, more than several times, countless times, manuscripts, and they've come across the desks, and they were never interested in them. They really wanted to stay true to what C.W. Anderson had in these books, these beautiful sketches that just really created so much room for imagination. And when Cynthia shared her screenplay, the Gotham group was really excited, handed it over to the family for them to check it out, see what they thought, and they fell in love, and that's when the relationship started. And so since then, it's been a wild road. It's taken a while, as all wonderful things take time. But we just completed the actual filmmaking part just this past year, and we are hoping to be done with post-production at the end of this year, late summer, fall.
So we were doing one of the scenes, and my pony started to eat the piano teacher's hat. So.
Geez. So I wasn't, I'm not really a rider, so I really wasn't good at riding. And so it would be like we would have Leslie pull me, just lead me around on the horse, sort of hidden in the bushes or something, because I couldn't ride and I had no idea what was happening. So, a lot of times the horse would just do something that I didn't want it to do. And yeah.
But you played the bad boy, right?
Yeah. Oh, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
It's funny because Ivan, our whole family rides horses, but Ivan is probably the one with the least experience and really has never shown immense excitement about the whole possibility of riding. But I think he did improve immensely, but it worked well because in the movie he's not a great rider already, so he could get away with it. Nobody else could have gotten away with it like he could, but he did blossom anyway, right? Yeah. So Cynthia became friends with Lisa, and I don't know the exact avenue, but they've become fast friends, and we've really enjoyed. We've done a few festivals with her now. This is our second. We did one in Raleigh. I think it was last month, but it may have been June. Yeah, I think June. And of course, she's amazing, and what she's doing is phenomenal. So we were really excited to be a part of it. We are so excited about bringing it out. Yeah, thank you so much.
Please be sure to tune in next week when Julianne and I have another interesting conversation with one of our EQUUS Film and Arts Fest filmmakers, artists, or authors.